أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي بمحمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عدوهم. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to his companions, religion is advice. Religion is advice. We asked for whom? His companion, they asked the Prophet, for whom? He said, for Allah, His book, His messenger, the leaders of the Muslims and the general people. عن تميم الداري أن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله قال الدين النصيحة. الدين النصيحة. قلنا لمن؟ قال لله ولكتابه ولرسوله ولأئمة المسلمين وعامتهم. Advice, really we need advice. Sometimes I didn't pay attention to where I put my step, but if somebody advised me not to put your step in this way or in that road because it is very risky, it is dangerous to you, so you have to change it or to take another way. This is really a good advice. With this advice I save my life, I save my beliefs, I save my akhirah, I save my dunya. So advice is very important. Sometimes people, they give you advice with the intention that you are, for example, they are your parents, your grandfather, your mentor, your teacher. When he gave you the advice, or a faithful friend, when he gave you advice, he likes you and he is very keen that you are be safe in this life and hereafter. So do not be, I'm saying this, do not be idiot not to take the advice of the others, because they are more experienced than you and they have the expert in this life, so they gave you their experience on a golden plate. You have to take it since they are loyal to you. With Islamic beliefs, we reach to doctrine number 2, following an authority in secondary religious affairs. What does that mean? Absolutely, we are as Muslims, we know that each one of us should pray 5 times a day. When Ramadan ends, should fast. When he is able to go for pilgrimage, he should go to pilgrimage. If it is a proper time to say Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahi an Munkar, you should say Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahi an Munkar. These are what the fundaments or the basics of Islam. I do not need anybody to tell me, yes, instead of praying 5 times a day, pray 3 times, you are weak and there is a discount for you because you are a good person or because you are my friend. I'm not going to listen to him. If somebody came to me and he asked me, why you fast the whole day, especially here in Iraq, and it is harig during a summer day, it is very hot and the power is on and off just like a traffic, you shouldn't fast. You have an excuse. Not fast nowadays. Go and wait till winter and fast. I'm not going to follow him and listen to him. Why? Because I know that I am a Muslim, I should fast in Ramadan. But I need to follow a specialist. Like what? If I have a doubt in my in the details of doing this act or that act of the obligatory acts, just like what? For example, if I go to pilgrimage, to Hajj, is it allowed to me to cover my head or not, as a man, not as a woman? As a woman, is it allowed for her to cover her face or not? In Hajj, I mean, in Hajj. Is it allowed if we go to, if we are wearing the ihram, all right, from Medina to Mecca, huh? Is it allowed for men to travel in a bus, in a car, or on the top of the bus or the car? These details, I need an expert to give me the answer, because if I do or if I act according to my mind, I'm not expert, I'm not a specialist, absolutely my act will be what? My act will be void. So why? I am tired, I spent money, I spent energy, and maybe I take risky to come to Mecca. So why should I let all these acts and all these efforts, money, time, to go in vain? It is not difficult for me to ask. So I have to ask in details. Our doctrine now, what we are going to study and read, Sheikh Al-Muzaffar, late Muzaffar Rahmatullahi alayh, he mentioned that our imitation, we imitate in what? In details, not in major acts. Major acts, as I told you, I am, as a Muslim, I have to pray 5 times a day. There is no need to somebody come and said, yes, you have to pray 4 times or 3 times or 1 time, that's enough. I'm not going to follow in major things, in basics and fundamentals. But in details, yes, I need a specialist, because I'm not a specialist, and I'm very keen to keep my acts valid, not void. You see, nowadays one person, he is 70 years old and he is performing his wudu with what? With ma' al-ward. All of his age, since he becomes adult, mature enough, baligh, he makes his wudu with what? With ma' al-ward. Why? He said, yeah, ma' al-ward is good, and it has what? A nice perfume. So I perform what? I perform my ablution with ma' al-ward. While ma' al-ward is what? Ma' al-ward is mudaf, is mixed. We cannot perform our ablution with ma' al-ward. So all of his salah, all these years, his salah were what? Were void. And he has to repeat them. What it needs from him? It needs just to ask. Just to ask, that's it. So maybe sometimes a simple thing we do not care about, it will make what? It will make our obligatory acts void. So we have to ask, and nowadays it's very simple. You just need to do what? Just need to touch a button on your phone or on your computer, all the information will come to you. You can type a question, they will answer you. So it doesn't need any efforts, but the result is very important, that you are going to what? To protect your acts, your worship acts. Following an authority in the secondary religious affairs. By secondary affairs of religion, we mean those religious laws which govern our actions after we have rationality, after we became what? Adult. And you know, the girl become adult when? Huh? When? The girl?
After 9 years.
After 9 lunar years. After the completion of 9 lunar years, she becomes what? Baligha. Mukallafa. And the boy, the signs. Having rationality accepted the religious faith in such affairs, it is not obligatory upon us to reflect upon them or apply our personal views. We need a specialist. It is not our duty. We need a specialist. If such secondary affairs are not among the religious foundaments, like what? Like the doubts in Salah, like when I am in Hajj after wearing Ihram, becoming a Muhrim, may I able to cover my head or not as a man? For a woman, it is allowed for her to cover her face or not? So we have to inquire, we have to ask. Fixed by decisive text of religious laws, such as the obligation of offering prayers, fasting, and defraying the poor rates, zakah, then an ordinary person is required to do one of the following 3 matters. We come back here, the same thing that we have studied in Islamic laws. Either you yourself to be a mujtahid and to follow the verdicts that you deduce from the sources, or you act according to precaution, and also this needs a study and you have to be a scholar, or to be a mukallaf, and to find a special jurist, marja', which has fulfilled all, or which has fulfilled all the conditions, and he is skillful enough to follow him. One may practice ijtihad. What does it mean? This is the definition of ijtihad. That is, exert all possible efforts to extract religious laws from the sources of the Islamic code of laws by engaging oneself in the highest levels of studies of jurisprudence, and then investigating the proofs of the religious laws after qualifying to reach such a stage and become a mujtahid. So a mujtahid is not easy to study maybe 60, 70 years. Look, 60, 70 years studying day and night. It is not easy to take a master degree or to take a PhD degree. It has limit years. After the bachelor degree, 2 years and a half, 2 years, you will have what? The master degree. After that, maybe within 3 years, you will have what? You will have the PhD degree. That's it. The total study may be how many? 17, 19, and 21 years. 21 years. That's it. While this is academic, this is academic grades. While with Hawza, it needs to study and to continue your study until death. till death, not stopping, not stopping. This is the difference between the Hawza and the academy. Or exercise juristic precaution, احتياط. What does it mean احتياط? This is the definition of احتياط. Act according to the views of the jurisprudence so as to act upon the actual ruling. If one is able to do so, okay, he is what? He is a muhtat. If he cannot be a jurist or neither a muhtat, he should be what? He should be or C, act upon the verticals of a well-qualified mujtahid who must enjoy decency and rationality in addition to other qualification. Such mujtahid according to religious traditions. Now, the mujtahid, as I told you, we have many mujtahids, but who is going to be a marja'? Who is going to be a marja'? Imam Sahib al-Zaman, Ajjalallah farajah sahallah makhrajah, he said, صائنا لنفسه حافظا لدينه مخالفا لهواه مطيعا لأمر مولاه. This person, this marja', again, صائنا لنفسه حافظا لدينه مخالفا لهواه مطيعا لأمر مولاه. It is not easy, my daughters. It is not easy. We can read it, we can memorize it, and we can say it, but it is not easy. I'm not saying it is impossible. No, it is not impossible. But it is not easy to be like this, a marja'. For that, you see that the maraja', they are very, very rare. The number of maraja' may be on, according to the fingers of one hand. That's it, no more. Maybe lesser, but no more. So preserves himself against wrongdoing and worldly pleasures, cares for his religion, opposes the dictates of his desires, and obeys the commands of his Lord. I'm asking myself, do I obey the commands of my Lord? Frankly, I'm not. Because at least one of the commands of my Lord is to be patient. I'm not a patient person. I'm a very nervous person. So, anyhow, it follows that if one is not qualified enough to practice ijtihad or to act upon ihtiyat and still refrains from acting upon the verticals of a well-qualified religious authority, then all of one's acts of worship will be invalid. Look, this is disaster, really. On Doomsday, when they let the sirat from the Jannah to the Sahat al-Mahshar, the first checkpoint, there are many checkpoints. The first checkpoint, Aqabat, the first checkpoint is the checkpoint of Salah. Let me tell you this. The first checkpoint is what? Is the checkpoint of Salah. They will stop all of us there. Now, for example, if I didn't pray morning prayer, Fajr prayers in its time, I didn't pray Fajr prayers in its time, but I do qadha, I perform qadha for that day. But why I didn't pray in its time? I didn't pray in its time because I ate too much last night, and I know myself, if I ate too much, I will fall asleep. I won't wake up on what? On Salatul Subh. Number one, maybe. Maybe another thing, if I still awake late, I know myself that I would not awake on Salatul Subh. Or the other reasons behind my choice. So this is my choice. I didn't awake on Salatul Subh and on time. So what is my punishment? They will stop me in the first checkpoint and they will let me stop there 100 years. 100 years, stop like that as a punishment for being late on Salat al-Subh with my intention. How about this? In front of Allah, in front of all the prophets, in front of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, in front of Ahlul Bayt, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Fatima al-Zahra, Al-Hassan, Al-Hussein, salam Allah, in front of my family, my friends, my students. Isn't shame? Nowadays here, if we do something wrong, we will hide it. We cannot do the wrong things in front of the others. Why? Because it is a wrong thing. But in Doomsday, everything will be clear. Everything will be in front of all creatures. So take care of the scandal back there. It's not easy. It follows that if one is not qualified enough to practice ijtihad or to act upon ihtiyat and still refrain from acting upon the verdicts of a well-qualified religious authority, then all of one's acts of worship will be invalid and unacceptable. طول عمره يصوم ويصلي ويعبد الله، يجي يوم القيامة يقول أنت لا عندك لا صوم ولا صلاة. Why? What's wrong? Because your ablution was wrong. Even if one offers a prayer, observing fasting and performs acts of worship one's entire lifetime, unless of what? Unless if I, la samahallah, what I said, why should I imitate a mujtahid? I have a mind and he has a mind, just like him. Alright? So I'm not going to follow him. I will pray according to what my mind tells me, I read Quran, I read books. Then accidentally that my acts are the same of the fatwa of this marji', whom should I follow? For example, if it happens that I doubt between the first and the second ruk'ah, what I did, I'm not following a mujtahid. What I did, I restart praying this salah from the commencement. Okay? And the marji' whom should I follow, his fatwa is just like that. In this case, my act is acceptable. Such acts be compatible with the views of the jurisprudent upon whose verdicts one relies after that, and previous acts were intended to seek nearness to Almighty Allah. And not only the act will be the same of the jurist, but there is another condition. That condition is with the intention. We need the intention of what? Of the qurba to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه.